In the summer of 1877, the sun rose over the plains of Nebraska with a quiet that felt almost unnatural. The war was over, at least. That's what the U.S. Army believed. The Lakota, worn down by years of fighting and hunger, were surrendering one by one. But there was one name that still stirred fear, respect, and legend in every campfire story across the West: Crazy Horse. The Oglala Lakota war leader who had never been photographed, never signed a treaty, and never surrendered his people's freedom without a fight. Just 1 year earlier, he had led the warriors who defeated General Custer at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. To the Lakota, he was a protector. To the Army, he was a ghost they couldn't catch. But ghosts can grow tired too, leader cornered by fate. By early 1877, the world Crazy Horse knew was disappearing. The buffalo herds had collapsed. Winter starvation stalked the Lakota like a shadow. Women and children suffered the most. Crazy Horse wasn't fighting for glory, he was fighting to keep his people alive. So in May of that year, he rode into Fort Robinson and surrendered with more than 800 Lakota. The Army expected a dramatic showdown. Instead, they saw a quiet man, slender, unassuming, wrapped in a simple blanket. He said only one sentence: "I have come because I have no food, no blanket, and no hope." But surrender did not bring peace. Rumors began to swirl. Rival native leaders, jealous of his influence, warned the Army that Crazy Horse was plotting another uprising. Others claimed he planned to flee to the northern plains and join Sitting Bull in Canada. Whether true or not, this was enough for the Army to act. The day of the betrayal, on September 5, 1877, soldiers arrived at Crazy Horse's camp with a simple message: "Come to the fort and talk." Crazy Horse agreed. Believed it was just a meeting. But at Fort Robinson, he realized something was wrong. Soldiers quietly surrounded him. His friend, Little Big Man, grabbed his arms, claiming he was trying to protect him. Then Crazy Horse saw at the doorway to the guardhouse, the place where prisoners were kept. And for the first time, the greatest Lakota warrior sensed he had been betrayed. He pulled back, shouting, "Let me go." In the struggle, a soldier's bayonet flashed. The blade plunged into Crazy Horse's side. He fell without a sound. The final hours, as blood soaked the floorboards, the Army carried him to the adjutant's office. They asked an Army doctor to treat him, but Crazy Horse refused every attempt to restrain or move him. He asked for only one person, his father. Night fell. The wind swept across the Nebraska plains like a morning song. Crazy Horse, lying on a blanket, whispered to his father, "Tell the people I was brave." He died just before midnight. The man who had never allowed his picture to be taken, who lived simply and fought fiercely, left the world as quietly as he had lived. The man becomes legend. Crazy Horse's death stunned both friend and enemy. A warrior who had never been defeated in battle had been killed not by an enemy's bullet, but by politics, fear, and betrayal. The Army buried him in an unmarked grave. His family hid the location so that no one could ever claim him, own him, or display him, because Crazy Horse belonged only to the Lakota and to history. Today, his legacy lives on, not in photographs, not in letters, but in the stories passed from one generation to the next. A man who fought not for land or power, but for the right of his people to live free. A warrior who stood against an empire. A leader whose last stand was not on a battlefield, but at the threshold of captivity. And in that final moment, even surrounded and betrayed, Crazy Horse remained what he had always been: unconquered.